Friends, enemies, lovers, and rivals, welcome to episode 52 of the Great Pendragon campaign. I'm super excited to be here. I'm your illustrious host, and everyone, I'm Eric. I'm playing everyone else, and I'm drinking Tecate tonight. That's what I'm doing. Jim, what are you doing today? All right. Good to hear from you, Jim.
Are we all? Oh, yeah.
I said, Jim, how are you doing? And then it was just like,
that's fine. I was doing my homework. Sorry, teacher.
Yeah, okay.
Please don't call on me.
Yeah. Well, now I have to call on you. How are you doing?
That's true. I'm good. Doing all right. It's life, you know. Glad to be here. Glad to play. And stress is on the decline, so it's good.
Good shit.
Yeah.
Invigorating. Colin.
Oh shit.
You
I'm
like
good.
This go out?
Yeah. Shit. Hold
What
on.
is going on today?
Hold on.
It's just
All right.
What is happening? Hold on. Okay. Better? Which one? A or B? A. B. A. I think this one. I think this is the money.
Okay. Yeah. It's a little better white balance. Your camera's giving you a little more.
This one?
Yeah. I think.
Cool.
No, I think you just switched them, but I don't know anymore.
I don't
Why
fucking know. I don't either.
I don't
know. I don't know. What is
man.
tonight? Cool.
It's
All right, it's
Monday
Pendragon.
night.
It's Winter 508. You had some homework to do. You all were captured in the battle last night. So there's a little bit to do. There's a lot less that you all need to do. Thankfully, just have to do mostly your skill checks. Because rather than doing your typical stewardship and stuff like that, it's just kind of consider that you failed. Because you're not here and you're being rated. So.
Yep.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know that the 8 I rolled for Gwern is gonna cut it.
No, it's not. So how about you give you all? I know you all just rolled your skills for this. So how would you give the audience a quick little update on what you have advanced and what didn't?
Cool. I advanced none of my skills, traits, or passions. That's it.
Okay. Status quo.
Yeah, I dumped points into orate and something else, but nothing. Just sort of bumping skills up. Nothing super dramatic. Awareness and orate are now decent. Aeswin spent a lot of time with the lance. That's the only real notable part.
Not
I ended the year 9,300 glory or so. And Aeswin has officially crossed into the 2000s for her glory. But otherwise,
Is that
that's
including
about it.
Ace1 got her knighting bonus too, right?
Yeah, that was last year.
Right, because it's crossing into 2000. Just making sure. Okay.
Yep.
Good. All right. So there's a little bit to do for the spreadsheets today. So I'll bring up the game screen because I know you all were clamoring in chat about spreadsheets. So
yeah,
ask you shall receive. All right. Here's how we're doing winter phase this year. Rather than rolling to see if you get anything destroyed, it's just going to be that it is guaranteed that something got destroyed. So what's going to happen here is first you're going to roll 2d6, and this is the amount of Librum that you lose. And then second of all, we'll be rolling on the property destruction table, and it'll be a d20. So 2d6 followed by a d20. We'll start with you, Gareth. You have lost 7 Librum. I have this already updated here, so I'm just going to put -7 here.
Hey.
Kablooey. Wait, I put it into expenses as a negative. I just cheated on taxes. Okay. And you rolled a 6. I think a 6 is going to be okay. Your defensive value of your fort will reduce it by 5, which means you rolled a 1, which means nothing is destroyed.
Sweet.
Nice.
Elaine's Tower.
Yeah.
Elaine's Tower.
Shoulder tin.
Hide in there. They had the miller hold the door shut.
None of my homies like Millers. That is literally the worst that you could have rolled.
I know, right?
Besides a 20, which is rolling twice. So let's talk about property destruction.
Let's talk about it.
It is all right. Property destruction on the destruction table. A 19. You're subtracting 5 from it because you also have a fort, which brings you down to you've lost a quarter of your village.
Ooh,
Whoa.
Enjoy
of
a
all of
plus,
them, or
a quarter of your village has been destroyed. You're earning +3 to hate.
okay, +3 to hate. I thought I had multiple villages.
Well, not yep. Now you have 1.75 villages. You're now you're rounding down, my friend.
If
Okay.
you right, because you could, the way these manors are, it's
It's like
either you
5.
have one hamlet or like 4 villages. So you
Yeah.
literally lost a village.
I just lost a village, sure. Well,
Oof.
sucks for them. There's always more peasants.
Yeah, so make sure you this was +3 hate.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware from this destruction section, it doesn't say that costs you any income, so I think you're okay. I might have to
Just
double
make
check
sure.
that.
Just
But,
overworking ones that remain.
Yeah, is that I can look it up if that's what it could be a
I mean,
state or
let's not.
local manor.
It's not important right now.
Okay, sure.
It's immaterial. Spoilers. We're not gonna get through to the winter phase for like 510 today. All right,
Yeah,
there's gonna be a lot
Sure.
to go
I
on.
imagine there's a lot going
And
on. Yeah.
second of all, this is 508. You're gonna also have to roll for 509.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're not earning income anyways for this one.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. But before we get there, I like to give a little description. Yeah, this was the cold open, was just rolling how much things get destroyed. All right. Both of you have been stricken by the ordeals of this battle and your time and activity. Each of you will be increasing your lazy, vengeful, and cruel by 1. Is this
Lazy?
Yeah. Incidentally, this was from, I was like, let's do a solo event, see what happens. And you literally both got the exact same one. I have no idea how you both were able to roll the exact same numbers twice in a row on D20s, but congratulations.
There you go. So these are automatic increases and decreases.
Automatic increases, yes.
Oh,
Well, yeah, decreases because you don't want
Because you go down. Yeah.
yes. But during your times, this is the trials and tribulations. However, while also in captivity, you've been treated with some, like after the initial stuff found halfway through the year, you're beginning to get more and more better treatment and respect from King Idris's loyal men. So you are out of the root cellar, so to speak.
Nice.
You two have been afforded a couple rumors of what's going on about Tales from back home. First off, you have learned that Saxons dined in Salisbury in Sarum. Feels bad. Second of all, whispers are trickling in that because King Idris has sort of left you all around this time, and you all are being kind of scurried around by Prince Mark. So around this time, King Idris, Queen Igraine, and the great minds of Britain trademark are reeling after the loss of Nanteliad and dealing with sort of what this next coalition is going to be for the Collegium, right? Well, this Collegium is being very obstinate about not wanting, another Vertigern spawn being here on the throne, or someone from the continent. So they're trying to figure out a way to broker peace, but it's really hard to do when Wessex kind of holds the cards, right? So here's what's going on. You've learned that Merlin has also been kind of interweaving in this shit again. He's back. Congratulations. So basically, the Collegium are at an impasse. And the deal that Idris has struck in the bargain is that they're going to have a tournament for kings. And you're like, what the fuck is a tournament? And that's where we're going to start. You are being escorted by Prince Mark into more of the Franklins rather than just Brittany proper, and you're going to witness a couple tournaments. The last time you've been here, you thought this place was, they were the barbarians at the gates, literally helping Syagrius. And oh boy, are your expectations completely flipped on their heads. These people are the embodiment of culture. It's almost taking you all by surprise. I will let you all have a minute to soak this in, but you are seeing men dressed up in what appears to be even better armor, nicer armor than you've seen before, holding out these spears for lances for battle. They're not fighting each other, but instead there's this sort of pomp and circumstance and decor about how many times you go around the track, raising them to obviously the ostensible Frankish lord, hanging their banners on the sides of this tournament track, and it's this very like regal, spurious, like I don't know. There's something to it that seems like this is next level. Like there's something. This is refined, right?
Romantic.
It is. Yeah. There's a little bit like, oh, this is what war should have been this whole time. And then, Mark will escort you all. It's basically like prisoner / arm candy, being like, oh, these are some quaint dudes that we captured from the battle. By the way, say hello. Right. To like all these French people, and like you can't speak with them. Like they don't speak. At first off, they don't even speak like English, right? So like you're kind of stuck here alone with yourselves, as these people are talking about, and but there's just the pageantry of it all. Prince Mark is kind of translating about this other like big noble here, talking about how like, this is finally it is the cultured war without the mud and the blood. Right. And then like a dude gets hit in the face with a mace and starts screaming and stuff. Right. And you're like, all right, well, I mean,
progress is progress.
It's war with Frankish perfume. OK, that's really the takeaway from it. OK, it is still actually pretty rough. Yeah, because what? People scream in anguish at a tournament just as much on a battlefield. So whatever it is, it still seems like a step up. And so that's when Prince Mark gives you the news. You all have been agreed to be let go as part of the agreements agreed upon by the Collegium. This, pointing out to you, this will determine the future of Britain.
Shall determine a future of Britain.
Please. Do you think anyone else on the island has any sense of how to win a tournament?
I don't think anyone on my island has any sense.
Right. This will be the easiest prize. So there you go. That is the play.
All right. Gareth is gonna like look to Gorthrin, be like, "What do you think, bud? This is your future more than mine."
Yeah. I mean, the tournament seems nice. I appreciate the splendor of it. It seems magnificent. Fills me with martial vigor. But
yes.
I don't know that the winner of this contest is fit to be king.
I must confess, I'm not surprised at all that you'd find some attraction in war that can be wedded to your sense of fashion.
Yeah. I'd be honest, Gareth. Looking the part is as important to me as swinging my weapon. I need to be seen. I need to be recognized. This is intriguing. And Gorthrin is utterly rapt by the tournament. Just the whole, just the magnificence of it. He's taken in.
I think you should be rather hard to miss, Gorthrin, unless there's a mountain in the way.
Certainly seem to be a lot more taller individuals around here, but I would do just fine. Just fine.
I look forward to it. In truth, I look forward to it. Out of seeing you young knights die.
Yes. There's a lot of that, isn't there?
Talk closer to your mic, Jim.
Yeah. I have all right, here we go.
There you go.
I don't death is not so much a problem for me. It's what we have to die for. For my own honor, for my own glory, I will gladly die before. For the Earl, would you go back? Would you accept his authority I'd sooner stay here with these people.
I believe that. I think your wife would have something to say about that.
Perhaps.
Well, you know, I'm sure I've told this tale before about the fairy woods and the silver knight at the helm of the table. Long.
Not that I can recall. I mean, there's always stories, but I don't think I've heard you tell it.
Morgan can tell it better at this point. What I remember, though, is the panoply of knights at the table. They were each so different from one another. We've been at Easter. For all the preening peacocks you young knights show up as, you're all knights of Salisbury, all buying the same London cloth, cutting in the same way, maybe a different colour here, fringe there, brocade there. But in this wood, there was a unity at the table. Vast difference between each knight. Some shining like giant metal beacons, some dressed in leathers or furs. I think about that sometimes. They should all be at the same table. Whether any of them could be at the head of it, which should be a great round thing. Never mind all that.
Saw this. You were there?
I was there the way you're there in a dream. But I can still smell the food coming from the table. Hear the crack of bone as someone sucked the marrow out. The gentle susurration of people having a good time. It's all so fresh. When I die, I'd rather think I shall be there.
Sounds like you'd be in fine company.
Well. One of them claimed that the High King was going to be from Camelot, can you believe it? That backwards place.
You didn't even know anyone went out that road anymore. Well, your dreams then. Very dream or not. Better than
Dream.
what waits us back home.
Nah, my dream and a young man's future. For old men dream of what shall become of the young man. And I think you just the sort of man to make these kinds of dreams real. For yourself or your children, at least. Let's drink to that.
The crowd erupts in elation in the background. It's like Prince Mark knocks off a guy off their horse.
Nice.
Told you I added some points to orate.
Yeah.
There you go. Are we going to get to compete in this tournament?
Absolutely not.
Not this one that we're witnessing, but this one, the Collegium, is
That's
stalling.
up to your lord.
This thing. Press Rufus.
Yeah. You are freed as part of the agreements, mostly brokered by Duke Ulfius. One of the conditions of this tournament is that each lord is to represent themselves. There will be no alliances. It will be a free-for-all. This melee. Some other points of order. Yeah. So you all have pretty decent intrigue here, so I've no problem spelling this out. A wise knight once said that a compromise leaves no one happy. And, well, they couldn't agree via an election who should get it, and they certainly weren't going to agree on a war. So they picked a compromise. And an elected war. A war by proxy. Now, King Idris, having some experience with French tournaments, suggested this. Thinking this would give him the edge. And since he's kind of hoarding the cards, he got to dictate the terms of the tournament.
Sure.
Oh. Interesting.
Which is why this is a style of the French or the Frankish tournament style.
Yeah. Ooh.
Right. Hopefully you
Capitalizing.
appreciate why you all are having a Franker style tournament in 510.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I do a lot of hard steering to get to here. All right. So let's talk about reunions
Yeah. Talk about it.
before we jump into the rest of this. So we're going through 5-9. We're gonna do reunions, and then we're gonna do a quick little winter phase here to establish the damage again. But who do you all see first? Who do you go to first?
Absolutely, Angrod. 100%.
Yeah.
Afterwards, I'll think about seeing Rufus.
Yeah, that's perfectly fair. I mean, Angrod's tearful. This is absolutely a tearful reunion, despite whatever happened. I mean, to see your husband again, right? That's great. You know, that's there's a lot to think about in that time, being apart. And she asked if you would love to want to go riding together, just as a we should go see how things are, the state of the born.
Of course.
Yeah.
First thing.
I have to admit, when we heard that you were coming, you were returning, I didn't know how to respond to everyone else, whether or not there was going to be a circle. What like, this is not Angarod. What would you call the meeting around the stone?
The
Right,
yeah.
just like the annual, right?
The
Whatever.
meeting, honestly,
because
I was
it
trying to
won't
think
be
of the Saxon
misconstrued.
Wotan.
Yeah,
Is that?
yeah, no, it's just the meeting, right? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what Angarad says, right? Like, I must admit, people are asking me with you coming back whether or not there would be a meeting, and I didn't know what to say.
I'm here, and we shall meet.
Good. Salzburg, is good to have you back. I'm good. I'm glad to have you back.
That seems more important to me at the moment.
Well, reassuring.
I think Salisbury's day is the focus of attention for Logris's passing. I'm glad I am for it.
You pass by a body hanging, and it's one like Newton Tony's like hunters. It's not great. We've been hurting without you.
Any word from Glessig?
We've all been battered by a storm. But I think we've all...
Your husband, you survived?
Yes.
Good. Very good.
She will, or they're gonna move her horse or their horse over to you and like just kind of hold your hands.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Gareth probably seems more tired
Yeah.
than he has in his whole life.
Yeah. Angarod's absolutely tired too. Like, they are also just like, they're obviously not as tired as you, right? But it's been a long year, right?
Oh yeah.
It's been a very long time. And just even being able to interlink my hand with your hand, that's powerful. Right. Gorthern.
I think Shoulderton is his first visit. Not really anybody else he would go to at first, I think. He'd be anxious to get home, see how bad it is. So
Yeah.
he's gonna head back to Shoulderton.
Well, to get up to the hill of Cholderton, you're gonna go past that little trading village that's near the main road, and you can see that's basically been burned to the ground. People have been rebuilding it. It's not great as they come through, and you can see sort of like the villagers who are in the process of rebuilding and stuff. As you go through, kind of alone here on your horse, they're like, "My lord, my lord." They're all like half bowing, right? Like, something's wrong. Like, you don't need to be a politician to realize that they absolutely are harboring a resentment towards you, feeling that you let them down. You probably feel that way yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I think to some degree, I think Gorthron is still understanding his obligation
Like,
to them.
why are they mad? As you're
Yeah, why are
going
they
by?
mad? I mean, like
Okay.
right now I have a hate of 5,
Yeah.
so it's still
not-
like it's not nothing, but
No.
you just see a little bit grumpy. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
That's all. Okay.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
gonna ignore them.
Right. Okay. As you go up to the door, I think Sweeterun will be there with the kids. Yeah, you know, I would kind of imagine Grade's also here just to help like support in this time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that would make a lot of sense.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Especially because, like, I think I don't know, Helen's still Squire. I was gonna say there's might be one of the his younger siblings who would be old enough to defend, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
So your stepmom would be elated to see you as well, and mention that how during this time Sweeterwin has fully converted to Catholicism or Christianity.
Interesting. British
Grade's
Christianity?
very proud of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very happy she's able to do it, and saying that with the Lord's help, we were able to get through this together. Isn't that right, Sweeterwin? And Sweeterwin's like, yeah, it's thanks to Christ. You know,
Uh-huh.
not sure if
That
it's
seems
yeah.
because that seems kind of maybe out of character. Well, no, not really, because the Wessex
No.
Saxons were already kind of in the process of conversion.
Yeah. Yeah, Sweeterun was certainly not, as she Sweeterun's faith was pretty strongly like in the pagan camp. But
Uh-huh.
as part of this survival is it's kind of been like, yeah, well, the church is here helping a lot more, and
How they get you.
yep, kind of is. And really, this is kind of the story of Salisbury right now, is that when things are bad, despite the church being the church
Sure.
is also where you turn to for help.
Yeah, they stick around. And yeah.
And they have been sort of the backbone, keeping everyone up and running as best they can. Especially Amesbury, right?
Yeah.
So
He wants to know how bad it is. He'll approach
Yeah.
Lady Grade and Lady Skeeter and
yeah, cool.
present himself,
All
as
right.
it were.
Let's do it. All right, round 2, 2d6, and then a d20.
Want to see it?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Another 7.
9. I think a 2 is fine. I don't think a 2 is. Wow. Can you just like tone it down, Jim? Like 10 beats,
let's
please?
see what it gets. So I have a
That's a
defensive
12.
value. A field. I lost a field.
You lost
Another
no,
+1
a
hate.
12.
Oh, a 12?
It's -5. It's minus the defensive value. So it's a
Yeah.
12. It's a cluster of commoners' houses.
Good
Lord.
There's the chute wood right over there, guys. You just get your
Guess what? It's another +1 hatred.
Yeah. All right.
All right, they're gonna need a lot of Panera.
Whole Paneras.
You better give them some bread bowls.
What did I build last
Yeah.
year? I thought.
They need their sesame salad or bread bowl stat.
Anything I built last year? Well,
No.
Okay.
Yeah. None of you rolled any improvement damage. It's just been just straight.
But yeah,
All right.
that orchard still stands.
Yeah.
I
so
am
worried about.
so happy with this fucking tower that I built. That shit was like 30 Libram Morn, and it's definitely paid for itself. It's
paid for it.
that
that's good.
extra defensive value.
Nice. Very
Choice
nice.
nuggets.
Absolutely paying dividends when being rated like this when you're out here.
Okay, so Childerton took a big hit
Yes.
in terms of people lost and
You
the
lost
like.
9
Yeah.
and 7.
Yeah, looks like a quarter of a village is at least 100 people.
How about your horses?
Well, I lost Zephyr and one of my roundsies. They died.
Your final money this year is 20. No, forgive me. You're gonna actually have to boost that up.
Morgan the cart horse died. But I get another charger out of it. Scipio has been pumping out kits. So expected in 514 is yet another charger.
All right. Yeah, this is a painful 2 years for your coffers. Each of you have had to dig deep. Winterborn Gun It, you're down to
Yeah.
$5.
Ugh.
Alderton,
Mhm.
you're down to $12.
Okay.
This also includes
All
your
right.
lifestyle of like you getting everything back
Yeah.
to repairs, etc. Right? This also would include then like, you know, if you had to, like if you, yeah, like getting your horses, all your training, your barding, getting the rest of the renovated costs of being raided, etc. Right? Just like getting everything sort of back to normal is why it's costing 8.
I'm glad
And
I paid for all of Acewin's shit before this happened. I don't know if I would be able to afford it now. If that
Right.
was the
yeah.
luck.
So.
I'll finish my stable rolls and see here real quick. Yeah.
You don't have to roll. I didn't make you roll lifestyle for being in captivity. This is just sort of this is after. So
Mhm.
that double
Something
spreadsheet day.
was- Yeah, double spreadsheet. All right, let's see.
Yeah, your improvements can work this time. If you want to roll those.
Okay. So the second roundsie.
But don't worry about misfortune and lifestyle and stuff like that. That's what I mean. It's just considered an auto fail. But you could get some money back through your improvements.
Roll our Dovecoat.
Yeah. I think Dovecoat's an auto.
Dovecoat. What's the
Orchard.
other- What is it?
Oh,
Orchard.
yeah.
No, Orchard is not earning money yet.
Both years, my apiary was a profit.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I have another 3 years for the Orchard starts making any money.
But then it's pretty good money, right?
Yeah, and if you can get it to last like 10 years, that's when it starts making it's like D6
Nice.
or something nuts like that.
That's some choice stuff.
Those clicker games, you know, you got to get the like that big
Yeah.
one that pays off.
Mhm.
I don't know why my brain went there.
My lord might have abandoned us, but he didn't have to have us feed his orchard on our own blood. But no one asked you to do that. Well, he asked with his eyes, he did. He asked without asking, you ask me.
We've been chucking birds at sticks, my lord, for fun. Make the birds angry.
Of course, that lucky cat weren't that lucky in the end. That's not true. It was lucky being stepped on twice. The horse had only stepped on him once. It would have taken forever to die. The second one did the trick, though.
Yeah.
Oh, these peasants. These damned peasants.
Jim, yeah. That's
yeah.
we have to talk. Yeah, I think the audience deserves to know.
What do you have?
Your cat.
Yeah, Lucky Cat died in 508. Did not make it, along with Zephyr, who probably I can imagine died of wounds from the battle. He was old courser, but Lucky Cat did not make it out of 508. Killed by a Saxon raider.
Yep.
All right.
Question.
Yeah, what's up?
Soldiers in the
Luello
graveyard
is
of
now
Lucky
21.
Cats.
My squire is now 21.
Yeah.
So Luello graduated out last year, I think.
Well, I mean, Luella was not here to be knighted,
yeah.
So
That's true. So we're gonna have to get on that.
Yeah.
Just so Jill stop talking.
There is a lot of knighting being had as you all go to Sarum. It is not a procession, but I would certainly say as Marshal, you have your work cut out for you. In fact, you're probably not even home that much. You're pretty much summoned to the Rofus, like Earl Rofus, almost immediately, being
Yeah,
like,
because he's not doing that shit himself, is he?
"Oh, absolutely not!" Right? But he's also doing his like, status report #1, right? And
Not
you're
enough
doing the
knights,
counting.
too many debts, my lord.
Well, fix it.
Yes, my lord.
Move heaven and earth if you have to. Now, where did I put those poultry pies? Yeah, it's like can't talk to the kitchen.
This motherfucker.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh shit.
All right. Good. I need this all. One more thing. I need this all ready and to go because by May we need to head out to London for the tournament. If it's supposed to happen in New Year's, I'm moving it. That's fine.
I shall work with Bishop Rogers.
Yeah. Right. So there's a lot
Cut
happening.
to like Gareth peeking in Bishop Rogers' door. Break out the fucking communion wine.
Yeah. He's not doing great. Yeah. That's so good. Okay. Yeah, there's no feast.
It is now 5:10.
It is 5:10. It is the year
Okay.
5:10. Anno Domini.
Next year, I'm getting my horses back.
Yeah, do we get like the rest of the Winterface stuff, like training and practice and calculating at least annual glory? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Go ahead and do that
Making
stuff.
sure.
Yep. Sorry.
Okay.
Kind of
That's
glossed
pretty
over
much
that
the
part.
only glory we're getting in
Yep.
509.
Bees roll. I don't get bees.
What it was, bees.
All right. So 509. Literally, the only thing is traits, passions, and title. For glory. That's 168. That's not enough to push me into 10th thou yet. I'm going to correct my energy back up to 19 with my training and practice.
I would point out that Sarum made it out okay as far as a fort goes. They surrendered, right, after losing, rather than having everything sieged and destroyed.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine that was where basically everyone went to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, they'd rather surrender, and considering it's Wessex, and their people are part of the failed peace between you all. It ended up saving more than it harmed for sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Certainly there was more of a sense of mercy than say if it was the Cornish who got here first. So people consider that a blessing as they go to Easter this year.
Very good.
God, a Tecate with lime is so good. It's seriously. Sorry. Okay.
Bees.
We calculated.
All right. Going into
Yeah,
5.
if Sussex got there, that'd been real bad.
Yeah, I bet. Okay. All right. So there was some magnanimity and victory.
Well, the bad news though is that the Sussex Saxons went to Y'all's Valley. Right? They went to the Bourne. So
Oh, I see. Yeah. They're not still there, are they?
No.
Okay.
No.
Let's say. Sounds like you're gonna be doing some raiding against Sussex today or this year.
Yeah.
Oh no.
They were yeah. I mean, again, like they did kind of plunder a little bit of Sarum, right? Even if you open your gates, you're still getting plundered. But that's when I said that at the end of 508, the Saxons had Christmas in
Christmas feast.
in Sarum. Yeah.
Mm. Feels weird the next year.
It was not a good Christmas that year.
All right. Feasting. And out.
All right. You've been told that, by the way, there's been the discussions of the tournament have certainly been percolating above the conversations of, survival in some circles. Apparently, it's to be fought. This dumb Frankish thing is supposed to be fought with less lethal weapons, as someone like the armorer comes here giving you maces. Supposed to fight with blunt weapons, apparently.
Fine with me.
Gareth is like, good thing I'm not fighting then, huh? I can't use this. What is this? This fucking chicken drumstick? Nah.
Just like take one and just beat the ever loving shit out of a piece of chainmail. Just like,
Well, that's
still mash up your guts.
that's the other thing, though, right? Is that's when they bring out the new armor.
Hey, new model.
Yeah, and they say, well, also, the Saxons were here. We had a chance to look over the armor that these mercenaries and these Saxons had, and they did a lot of cool improvements to this chainmail. Look at this, and they show you how it's reinforced. Y'all, this year, you get reinforced armor, which raises your 16, I think, to 22. I think it's a +6. I think it's very good.
Nice.
Reinforced mail.
Where is this?
I thought it'd be like
Armor type. There we go. Reinforced chainmail points.
It's a 12-point armor. Sorry.
Well, so
the other way
18
around.
total.
Okay, so
18 total.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I got it mixed around. Yep.
That's
So that doesn't include shield.
Right.
Furthermore, your helmets are no longer just the nasal helm, but they are closed helmets.
Oh.
That's cool.
You know, Gareth's gonna be grumpy about this.
You can't breathe. You do the Corinthian.
Well, he's a little vain still. I mean, my appearance is still 14. Gareth looks good, so he's just like, need to see your opponent's face. Meanwhile,
yeah,
Ace
you
wins.
begrudge
Why
it.
you
Yeah,
have the
this is-
tabard and the
How can this be honorable?
Yeah. Meanwhile, Acewin, with the appearance 9, is just like, I'm fine with this.
Yeah, this is good.
This is fine. Acceptable.
nice. All right. Like mine. All right. I passed my appearance with my thanks to Bronwyn, and I spend 3, and I'm not coming back like a schlub. He comes back in the latest. In fact, if he can have bought something from Frankia,
Yeah.
he definitely will have. They had
Oh
some
yeah,
really
you
sweet
totally
hose
did. Yeah,
and,
you
like, the
went to the
shoes with the
fucking
bells
gift
on 'em.
shop. You went.
Right.
You were a prisoner and you went to the gift shop.
Right.
It's incredible.
Prince Mark, is it all right? I just got to spend some
Yeah.
Libra.
Yeah. Gareth, like, stubbornly, like, he basically washed the uniform he was captured in, and that's what he fucking comes back in.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's
Like
wearing
most
this
people.
reinforced chainmail with the new helms, and Gareth is like, what is this? And I'm like, change.
You're still wearing your fucking sweatpants you got from Target.
Yeah. It was on sale.
$8.
It says Nick on the side instead of Nike.
Oh shit.
This is Nick. Why is that so funny? Alright. Cool. Are you ready for some football? And by that I mean a melee.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All
This is
right.
this is before the feast, yeah.
This is yes, no, this happens after the feast.
Okay.
I'm moving around the calendar, so sorry, Mallory. Apologies. All right.
Oh, that's fine.
I'm just advancing a little bit because it doesn't really make sense for you all to get home and then all of a sudden rush off to this feast.
Yep.
So, yeah, this is happening this is happening a little bit after Easter.
Okay.
So there's a crowded tournament held in London, in front of the Cathedral, St. James. Literally everyone is here. To give you a sort of quick rundown of exactly who's here, we got your Lord Rofus, right? In the shadows, we got Merlin, who looks younger than ever. We got an old Duke Ophius. We got an even hotter Prince Kenric of Wessex. We got Prince / maybe even now King Elen of Escavalon. We got our Duke Dufel of Lindsay. We got the Centurion King, King Herod of Malahut here. We got Prince Lancelor of Estragales. We got all the big names. Let me show you. I'll bring you all over to the screen just so you all get an idea.
Oh my god, my back is killing me right now. I'm trying
Oh my
to
god,
get comfy.
I'm just gonna assume it's the hype.
Yeah.
So like, look at this. This is the Coachella of events of early Britain. All right.
So long as it doesn't turn into Fire Festival, I think we're all right.
I don't think so. I also want to point out my terrible attempts for King Leodegrance of Cameliard. I tried to go with hot, younger, hotter Sir Patrick Stewart, and instead I made old curmudgeonly guy from Binging with Babish. So sorry.
Okay, one, Patrick Stewart was never young and always hot. 2, that dude looks like the name brand Ben Kingsley.
Yeah.
Like that is dollar store Ben Kingsley.
Yeah, dollar store Ben Kingsley. All right, that's fair.
But Prince Lancelor, good lord, what's happening there?
Yeah.
And King, are we just skipping over King Herod? It's just Einstein. It's just.
Oh, I mean, I was gonna skip over it. I was actually going with old Adam Driver, but yeah, I would also go with young Albert Einstein.
Old Adam Driver. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, that's perfect.
Yeah, either of them work. He's
fantastic. Who else haven't we seen?
We got our Prince Marks. We got our King Idris, which we saw earlier.
Okay.
But I never actually put a face to him.
Brastias.
Brastias.
Yeah, I don't think I ever got a picture of Brastias.
Shades of Stannis. Shades of Stannis.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Sir Hevis is listed out as a very notable mercenary knight. I don't know who they are, to be honest with you. Full disclosure. But they have somehow made the headlines. And then I'm gonna save a couple other people. But we got
who's that in the bottom left there, Eric?
I don't know yet.
Who's that?
We got Duke Eskin of Gloucester. And then his best friend and wife of or husband of Morgan, King Lot of Lothian and Orkney.
You can get it too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Everyone is.
Ah, man, I think Prince Lancelor is the most thirst inspiring of this panoply you've given me. By the way,
now, Colin, if you can control yourself,
I can't. Go on.
They're all hot, and they're all about to go get all sweaty and fight each other. So, there you go. This is the tournament. Lord.
Everybody's peacocking.
Yeah, everybody's peacocking here. And half the group is kind of laughing and not really taking it seriously because they're like, these fools are fucking dumb. Like, why would you who use this isn't representing war. Like, some people are showing up on their horses and then other people are like, no, you can't. No, it's not on a horse. It's not on a horse. Right? Like, there's a lot of people are just getting. There's been no communication. Whoever project managed this is not getting a contract again. You know what I mean? Like, it's not as bad as Fire Festival, but it's certainly like a shit show. Everyone's laughing, being like, why the fuck, stupid bishops deciding this stuff? And this, why would we do this stuff at all? But then you see folks like Prince Kenric and like Prince Elaine are sort of actually resting and kind of getting into it and seem prepared.
This is like the first PAX Unplug I went to.
Yeah.
The first PAX Unplugged that they had it's like they were trying to organize it. It was still a shit show, but like there are also people there, right? I'm getting that vibes. This is the PAX Unplugged of okay.
They're trying. They're trying their best.
They're trying.
But I want to point out here, and the reason why I point this out is simply because of the juxtaposition of the Frankish tournaments to what you're seeing here, and this is not what you saw. This is a
Broadway to
simian
off-Broadway.
mockery, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, this is a mockery of what you all witnessed on the continent.
High schoolers trying to do Oklahoma.
This is high school Les Mis.
Oh God.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Shit. Okay.
To put it in perspective of what I'm trying to say.
That's dire.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. All 6 people
Yeah.
understand what I'm referencing. Okay. Yeah, it's a lot of damage. Okay.
All right.
So that's what's going on. None of you are participating. You all just get to hang out, and we can actually we can jump over and we do a round of feast because everyone who's not fighting, there's a buffet. There is a spread.
Yeah.
Okay. There is a very big spread.
Jim,
This is
giving you a gift here.
What do you
Giving
got?
you a gift. Gareth is going to ask Gorthrin to dress him for the feast. Like, we're in London. This is the town you love.
Mhm.
I hate it. It smells bad. But I'm not going to get younger. So, like, I want to try and enjoy it the way you enjoy it one time before I give in to curmudgeonliness.
Let's go. Yes. I know that first of all, there's a cloth merchant not far from this churchyard. That we were trying to pull that stupid sword from. We'll start there. And then Bronwyn will accompany us there. She knows everything there is. He just, Gorthrin, having
Yeah.
a one passion,
Yeah.
is going to talk authoritatively and then
Yeah.
let Bronwyn lead them around,
Oh, yeah.
getting all
So-
the good stuff.
I'll let you decide how much. I mean, I only have 7 Libra, but you tell me how much I spend on my my
The-
feast outfit.
the Archbishop and Merlin are talking. That's kind of like the last thing you see before you leave, and they're kind of like eyeing you, are talking, and they're whispering themselves. And you all go off shopping.
Yeah,
Shop.
let's go shopping.
Shop.
Yeah. So,
Like,
Gorthrin's spending 3 Libra.
nice.
And I think these are tasteful. Right? But you're Marshal of Salisbury, Gareth. You can't walk around in the same.
Can we? Yeah. Can we pour? Can we drop one eel pasty out for Erwin, who had probably been like obsessed?
Yeah, God, I used to eat these all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Let's go. Yeah.
Delicious. Eels from the Thames.
Gareth is shopping at Forever 41. True. Absolutely true. Oh,
Oh, that's great.
that's really good.
Love it.
All right.
All right.
He's gonna insist that 4 Libra is what you spend.
I'm
Because
Sounds
I'm-
great.
I am glad you all are spending money trying to get close here. This is great. Just so you know, though, this is literally just like a 1-round kind of feast deal where you get to draw.
I
cards
know.
and have fun. Okay, cool. There's not even like, we're not even doing like at the Salt, right? This is literally just because
Just draw cards.
there's
Yeah.
no tables. It's just
There's no
fucking-
tables.
There-
It's a fucking
buffet.
festival.
It's the
It's-
French term for it's a buffet.
Called
It's a serve yourself
buffet.
situation here. Okay,
pronounce
this
the
is the
T.
French style. Yeah.
They call it a bourgeois, and it's really quite tasteful. It's all the rage here in London.
oh,
Gareth is like, I don't want to touch the. You've been pawing at that pheasant this entire time, haven't you?
What's her name? Was that your Maggie Smith impression?
I have no idea what the fuck I just did.
All right. I thought it was Maggie Smith. All right. The Brits pronounce the T. Okay. I can't do a posh. All
Yeah,
my
we go-
accents
we go around.
collapse into Australian, like it's a black hole. It's just like
Australian's the one I can't do. Mine always turns into New Zealand. I immediately become Taika Waititi when I try and do Australia.
Yeah. You don't have enough Drongo in your blood.
Apparently. All right, I spent
We just lost
4.
the radical Australian audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You spent 4 on
Just
the
more.
the
When
thing
you
is,
bring
though,
your dad's 43-year-old friend to that freshman college party,
Right. Yeah, you can't go in that. Nobody's worn that in 2 decades, Gareth.
This was. I wooed my first wife wearing something like this. It was all the. Look at the tasteful
happened?
ins.
wide flare
She-
collar.
She didn't die.
Or it isn't connected at all.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I think Gareth kind of gets into it. Like, it's just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's nice to sometimes be young again.
Yeah, yeah. I think Gorthern likes London because you can sort of just be, you can just blend in. You know, in Salisbury and Sarm, everybody ultimately knows everybody, right? There's only
Yeah.
like 100 or so of us, right? But in London,
Yeah.
you just sort of walk around and no one kind of
Even-
wiles out, right?
Even someone of your status, Gareth, you still kind of blend in.
Very cool. Very beautiful. Very powerful.
Yeah. So, sick threads.
All right. All right, give me those feast cards. Give me the feast cards, Eric. The last feast cards I'm ever going to draw. I get to draw 4,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, it's 4 until I hit 12,000.
Have at it. There's no host, so you can ignore the host cards.
Okay. Can.
Just so you know, this is a special feast, right? Again, this is a
Look, how do you
yeah.
look at something? It's Z.
Z.
There it
You
is.
press
Okay.
Z to make them Z for
An ideal
zoomies.
wife.
Maybe.
Question.
Yeah.
Could this
Ace
apply
Win.
to Acewin instead?
That sounds really cool. But you
I
drew
didn't
the
even
card.
look at the other ones. Yeah.
So what this means is you found the ideal spouse for Acewin, right? It's done that way. Like, it's that lens. If you want to go that
Yeah.
way, I'm cool with that. But I feel like because you drew the card, it's from the lens of you are a matchmaker.
I absolutely think that's the case. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right, that's the one we're doing then. All right, let's read it.
Okay. Yeah.
The host, if present, introduces you to an eligible lady who thinks you would make an ideal wife. Okay, even worse than this then? We said that it doesn't have to be a host card. Theoretically, the host of this is the Archbishop of London. Technically.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm willing to follow this rabbit hole. Yeah.
The alternative of this would be it's Rufus, right? Like, it would be your lord.
No.
'Cause you're part of
I think
your-
we're stepping out, right? We're
Yeah.
in the city. So it's
Yeah.
it's the Archbishop, and as a marshal, I'm not going to
it's-
be at the table, but
It's
like
obviously like a group of ladies who are getting like their own threads or whatever, right?
Mhm.
Like, let's just reincorporate it back into that part, right? Like, literally, like, they're at
Yeah.
the shop, they're at the French salon, right? Like literally the mainland is invading the continent culturally, right? I mean, salons don't exist yet, but the idea of like someone from the continent, Frankish threads being the thing, then because that's why you know them, Garrett.
You get him.
Garrett.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god! Like, Gorthon, this is why you went here, because you're like, oh, they told me this is where I'm supposed to go. Like the threads, if I wanted to get an updated version of this back on, like, their cousin is here. It's their
Got the
store.
hookup.
Yeah.
Gorthon's got the hookup. Yeah.
Oh, this
Yeah.
is good. This is threading together. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ladies.
All right. So let's get a little more about her. I need to roll on the marriage table at +5. Is that a D20? I think.
Yeah. Striking physique with a narrow face and a birthmark. Their voice is breathy. They are serene but bitter, and their primary trait is lazy.
14.
I didn't just bring you over to it, but a 14 on the marriage table is the daughter of a vassal knight. It's a star. 1d6 to determine the daughter number and 1d6 for number of brothers. Boy, this doesn't really help when you have this huge of a spread of possible people. Let's roll. 1 second. I'll give you the D number. I have to see how many eligible people there are. I'll have in just a second.
Mhm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Roll a d10 for me, please.
8.
8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. On the table was King of this. I'm determining what lord and like the subset of this is. I rolled Salisbury. Well, you rolled Salisbury. So it's somebody from Salisbury is here.
Ooh.
So that's even more interesting. Okay. She is Alwena.
I think
How do you want to do this?
this is, oh my god. Because, like, Gareth has been reconnecting with Aeswin.
Yeah.
I think Aeswin, right, she's not the Vavasur yet. She doesn't have Gareth's responsibilities yet. So she has more freedom to kind of go around and do stuff. And I think she's occasionally mentioned, like, some friends she's making, like in Sarum and stuff. And she's mentioned this name a couple times. Like, oh, I know this person. And Gareth, like, meets Alwena as, like, wait, you're Alwena. You're gorgeous. You're very smart. And it, like, clicks in Gareth's head that maybe Aeswin is in love with this person and has never said anything, because Aeswin is perhaps not the most confident in their romance. They know that they've got an appearance 9, below average.
Yeah. So this person is roll a d4 for me.
Mm-hmm.
1. Yeah. They're from Sarum, like directly. So
Yeah.
not like necessarily the Earl's line.
Sure. I imagine, much like I have that house in the city next to Sarum, I imagine some vassal knights hold stuff in the city.
Exactly. Like this is like a Vavasor level, someone else in Sarum, like kid, some other second kid kind of situation. Yeah.
I like it.
Cool.
And as this, if they're the second kid, that they're obviously not going to be directly inheriting. So a good match with another, like, this is a good.
Yeah,
this is a good match.
Yeah.
This is a good match, and I think Gareth is, like, trying to make these calculations and but I think Aeswin might be. I don't. Colin doesn't know. Colin's probably going to roll for that later to see whether or not this is a previous torch that Aeswin's been holding.
Yeah. Hold on. This might actually be better than just that. What's your glory at?
9,300 and change.
So you really rolled that alone should give you a +9 to this roll.
Oh.
Well, actually, you're the one doing it. So let's say it's half.
Yeah.
Rather than your daughter's doing it, right? So you got a 14, right?
Yeah.
No, 14. Yeah. So yeah, that's still a 20. So your daughter vassal knight. So, okay. Yeah. So it is not an heiress, right? So you're not getting any anything out of it. So yeah. So it'd be someone who's not inheriting, but still a very, very good match. Which I will work out some other time.
Yeah, and I think it's like it's like this moment, and Gorthrin probably recognizes the tone of voice. Be like, Alwena, I've heard so much about you. I look forward to talking with you more in the future. Aeswin has mentioned with pleasant tones her interactions with you.
Oh. Thank you, my lord. Very honored that my name has reached your ears.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you know her. Aeswin has mentioned that Alwena has an honor as high as her father's, right? Like like she finally met someone who might meet your match as far as personal standards go, right? It's kind of
and you know what Aeswin's notable trait is? Just. So, like, she's into that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It has daddy issues to the game, so.
Fair. It's weird when you are your own daddy to have issues with.
I mean, there's a little Oedipus. It's a little weird. But doctor, I am my own dad. Okay. All right. Enough of that. All right, we got your card. Gorthrin, let's talk about your time in the city.
All right. So, assuming I don't have to roll, well, I don't know. Am I going to have to test chase?
Ooh. Yeah. That's not predicated. That chase roll is not predicated on the fact there's a hierarchy of tables,
Sure.
right?
Oh,
That's just predicated on who you are. So there's there's plenty of people to chase here. Okay, you failed.
Yeah, he does. He flirts, and he's he's in the city.
Yeah, I mean that's all you have to
zip
say.
Code.
Yeah,
That's all he's got to say.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
like there are a lot of hotties.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's looking for somebody to have a fling with. A bad year. He's dressed well. He's with his buddy.
You are dressed so well. You are peacocking to the nines, right?
Right.
Like you're wearing the clothes that like other people. So here's the thing, right? Like you learned how to wear these clothes while on the continent. So you like everyone else is trying to look like you, but you are the model,
stand in that.
right?
Not how you stand in that.
No.
You don't
Yeah.
walk like that in those shoes.
Yeah, in your clogs. You don't. That's...
You just having Bronwyn just like whispering to him, and he's just like comment. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's attractive. Frankly, it's like see what I said there? It's frankly attractive. All right. Sorry. I apologize.
All right. It's okay. It's okay. Take him where you can get him. All right. Let's do flirt.
Mm-hmm.
How this goes. Success.
Love it.
So I am not looking to have a conversation with a game master character.
No.
I am simply looking to find a serving maid or squire to fool around with.
Yep. I love this idea.
Yeah.
Are you cool with it being the friends of Alwena? Being like,
yeah.
I gotta go. like as you're having a conversation.
Right. If there's a break at all
Yeah.
in Garrett's attention,
All right.
he's out of there.
So especially at this time, just to like emphasize, getting fitted and stuff like this takes a long ass time, right?
Yeah.
Like you're here for a couple hours. All right. You should bring
Yeah.
a book. So this is great.
Each pant leg individually.
Yeah. So yeah.
I don't like how these trousers are pinching my nether wallop.
Tell the tailor.
Oh, it's like, oh, yeah. So I totally imagine how this is going, right? Where it's that sort of smooth talking about how these clothes fit so well, and she's and she starts insinuating like, oh, I wish I could get sized for clothes this well and stuff. And you're like, well, I know a thing or two about how clothes should fit, so like maybe I could help get your dimensions. And that's how that goes.
That's how that goes. Mm-hmm. All right.
Please don't ever use that line. You're not
Yeah,
Gordon.
for anyone in the audience, use that line. Absolutely.
Yeah. Give it a
Tell us
shot.
how it
That's
went
free. That's
in the
free.
Please tell
comments.
us. Yeah, please tell us how it goes.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, Gorthron makes himself scarce and comes back just light as a feather.
God, that's so good. That's so
I'll roll
funny.
on the childbirth table for the end of 5 of 10 for that one.
Love
believe
it.
That's how it's.
Yeah, for sure. That's so good.
Listen, it's been a while. Gorthron's been on a bit of a dry spell, so he's very happy with this.
Yeah, you have
Even
been
it's not letting
in.
him sleep in the bed.
You have been surviving on locusts and honey, my dude.
It's been a real trial.
It has been a
Real.
tribulation for sure.
If Gareth asks, he will speak of it in those terms as well.
Look, man, we're all Christ in our own way, okay?
I mean, yeah, I think like this is one of those like where Gorthron's paganness just kind of comes out. And he just forgets
Yeah.
that he's around all these church people.
Yeah.
Hope springs anew.
Yeah. Gareth is trying to relate. He's like,
Yeah.
well, during
You
Lentide.
were young, Gareth. Do you remember? Yeah.
It's post Lent, right? You already had Easter.
Yeah.
40 days is over.
Yeah.
Well, I do recall a certain steward of Lev Kamagas one time.
See?
Ah,
Yeah, Gareth is trying to get into the spirit of this thing.
Yeah. No, Gorthridge can
Yeah.
make him like just tell him about his past loves. This is walking out. Gorthridge is really trying to just get Gareth to open up. I don't think Jim has it in him today, but I think
That's fair.
Gorthridge is really trying to word Gareth over and just be
Yeah.
like, "You're not just a hardened, crusty old veteran."
Yeah.
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 Yeah, you're trying your best to keep up your guard here, Gareth, right? About who you are. But yeah, you can't help but feel a little young inside
Absolutely.
doing what you're doing here.
Absolutely. There's
Mhm.
something about the tournament spirit that
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah,
See,
so
he's
as
stood up.
Ren
Right.
Fair. That's
It's a
exactly.
very
They stood
Ren
up.
Yep. Because big old turkey leg paid $19 for half a cup of warm honey beer.
Yeah.
Old Libra for a bag of nuts.
Right.
Yeah.
So like
That kind of
this
thing.
is
Yeah, gotcha.
right. Yeah. So then I think this is the great time. As sort of the sun setting of the first day of the melee. Folks are tired. People have already been getting injured. Rofus is out almost like immediately as he like tries to buddy up with somebody, and that buddy guy just dunks him like just immediately. He's like, "Oh God, oh I'm out." All right, that's fair. And that's when you hear the sword. The sword. The sword has been pulled. The sword, and it begins to reverberate through the rest of the crowd as you guys are all just kind of relaxing around drinking. There's this
Gareth.
What sword are they talking about? That old sword still in the stone?
Come on, every year. Somebody's loosened it up. Come on, let's see. And
And-
Gorthrid has gone every year. Like he did the one year
Yep.
where he tried, but he comes back every year.
Yeah, you all come back.
To laugh at people.
Yeah.
The sword.
I'm
And in the hands of Sir Kay is the sword Excalibur. Sir Kay's father. You don't know who Sir Kay is, but we all
No.
know who Sir Kay is,
Sure.
right?
right.
Some literal fucking nobody is holding the sword Excalibur when you all by the time you all rush up here. You guys are bypassed, almost steamrolled by like King Lot and folks who are like on their horses coming up here, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Gareth is like clutching onto Gorthrin for steadiness.
Yeah. Sir Kay's dad, Sir Ector, shows up being like, "Son, did you shouldn't have taken it. Did you take that?" And Sir Kay goes, "Yes, father, it's my sword. No. It's
That's
Arthur."
Excalibur.
Yeah. And he hands the sword to Arthur. His squire.
Gareth is like shaking Gorthrin.
And everyone's like, "What the fuck are you? What? What are you?"
That's Excalibur. Gorthrin, the
And
sword in the stone is Excalibur.
like almost like fucking headbutting
Yeah.
up. Like
It doesn't. I
as-
mean, it still looks like the sword, right? Like it's just.
that's what I'm about to describe.
Okay,
In Sir
all right,
Kay's
all right.
hands, it looks rather mundane. But when he hands it, rather than like downward, he hands it over to Arthur, who holds it like kind of upward, and it kind of reflects the sun going down, and it radiates that green that you've seen before. Gareth, you've seen that radiating power. It is in fact Excalibur in the hands of this squire, this low-born, beardless bastard. And the fate of Britain has just been upended. There is a long pregnant pause as he holds this sword, and this squire's dad tells him, "Put it back. It's not yours. Put it back. Put it back in the stone. What do you do?" He's like everyone is basically star-crossed right now, right? Watching this happen, and his dad's trying to like tell him like, "You fucked up. Like put it back. Put it back." And Arthur's like, "Oh yeah, of course. Sorry, Dad." And he puts the sword back in the stone. There's this bright strike of light and lightning as the sword magically goes into the stone. No one sees this because obviously Merlin is not like the center of attention, but like Merlin's like eyes are like kind of like glowing and like a smile, like he is, right?
Gareth is grabbing Gorthan's arm and saying,
No.
Get me to the front. Get me to the front.
Let's go.
I need to
Excuse
see
me, make
Excalibur.
way, make way, make way. And Gorthan will just pull over his way.
Yeah.
You
You are
need to see the sword drawn again. It's
yeah. Well, as this is going on, more proud knights are going to step forward and start entering this area. Starting with King Lodograd of Camelliard, being like, "Nonsense! I will do it." Right? Step aside, boys. As he bends to try to grip this sword and pull it out, being like, "You've just loosened it. See, watch. I will pull it out with ease." As he tries to draw this sword and it's not going anywhere. He fails. Right? Prince Mark of Cornwall steps up, fails. King Idris himself fails. They all fail to withdraw the sword until finally there's enough of this crowd growing, saying, "Let the boy draw the sword. Yeah, let the boy do it. Yeah, let the boy do it. The boy." And King Lot cannot believe this. He's like, "Why let this beardless bastard do it?" And then Arthur, with relative little ease, one hand, second hand on the pommel. Gently, the sword gives way from the anvil in the stone and is drawn once more. And everyone gasps, seeing it firsthand. The priest is like praying and trying to go up to him and baptize him. You know what I mean? Like just spraying holy water for this event.
Mm-hmm.
King Lot is furious. His horse rears, being like, "No way! This is ridiculous!" Right? King Lodogrance is kind of closest, being one of the ones who just immediately failed. Immediately drops to the knee and says, "I saw what I saw. This boy is to be king." And there is a fissure in alliances right now, as all of Britain is beginning to fracture on one side or not of, is this proof?
Gorthan, help me to my knee.
here. Take my hand.
Gareth is going to try and get to the front and is going to try and kneel in front of the boy king. I don't know how verboten that's to do before or without like Rufus's.
There's King Lodogrance starts it. Sir Ector and Sir Kay almost immediately follow suit. There's beginning to be like a line in front of him kneeling. The ones who are resisting are standing back, right? You're one of the first as well, right? Gareth, you come up to the right of Sir Kay and kneel before, and to the new king, our king to be, Gorthrin to your left, Brastius as well, right? Idris, no. Lot, no. Eskin of Gloucester, no. Mark of Cornwall, no. Prince Elaine, yes. Right. You begin to see these people draw, and you begin to, probably at this point, Ophius, yes.
Good.
Merlin.
What about Rufus?
Merlin begins. Rufus, yes.
Didn't want to be on the other side of that one.
Correct. No. Duriel, no. Harold, no. And this will be the battle lines for the next couple of years as we enter the Boy King era. 1 second. Stand by. Hello, everybody.
All right.
You have made it to the Boy King.
Boy King.
We have...
Fucking A.
I have updated the overlays. We are in the Boy King era. Congratulations. Gareth, I'm so glad that I was thinking about it more, man, because like I was tearing up thinking about this moment today for you. Colin, like I know how much this means to you.
Yeah, man.
And like,
Gareth got to see 2 miracles in his lifetime. Not many people get that.
mm-mm. And Gorthrin, this is an unfamiliar feeling.
I'd say so. He's
Right.
never really encountered any of the supernatural before. Not
No.
like Irwin.
No, this sword, you're drawn to the wielder of this sword like a moth to the flame. There is your loyalty and your honor is high enough that it's just this is right. You don't and you almost accept it on faith, right? The uncertainty of it is the faith that before you was holding it, and it doesn't make sense, but this has to be right.
Yeah. This is like Lu, the sort of the returning god. I think that's maybe
what I would point out, and maybe this was like a slight conversation. If I was a better GM, I would have referenced this at the start between like Prince Mark and you about culture and degrees of nobility that you are seeing at the tournament. And as Prince Mark withdraws to align with his father, these brutish Britons have a sense of loyalty in the way that these folks from the continent refuse to acknowledge.
No, I don't understand. They don't understand.
So
for all their pomp and circumstance.
Yeah.
It doesn't reflect the magnificence of their soul.
What's that great line from Patrick Rothfuss? For all that, she lacked your fire.
Yeah. Ooh.
And that's
it chills. All right.
I would like to, rather than proceed to Carlion, I would like to take the last bit of this session here to like just kind of reflect on the Anarchy, if that's cool with y'all.
Hell yeah.
Let's do it.
You all will be. This is not enough to declare Arthur king right now. He'll have to draw it for other people coming across the town for the next couple months.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you will be asked to stay with him. You all have requisite glories for this. Gorthrin, you don't actually. You have to have at least 5,000. Gareth, you were absolutely asked to guard the sword, and Arthur and everyone here at the church for the remainder of the months for people to come here. A lot of the other knights as well. Or Rofus is going back. But just pointing this out because
he's got the glory, he doesn't have the guts.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, do we have to go with Earl Rofus?
I mean, yeah, like you're not supposed to be here. like you're literally not cool enough to stay at this party.
Sure. I mean, he was just going to drink at a tavern or something.
Oh, well,
stick around.
I mean, you have your
you can do that and
just
going.
You're gonna do that at home. You can stay at the Cross Keys on the way back. You can recommend it. So for witnessing the sword and the stone, you're all getting 100 glory.
Oh yeah.
Gareth, you're getting an additional 20 glory for being one of the 10 knights chosen to guard the sword.
How do you get to guard the fucking
Sweet.
Yeah. So let's do a recap of the Anarchy phase.
Yeah, let's go all the way back to the year 495.
Yeah, that's
what
how
a
long
wild ride.
And it's
year 495, the trap at St. Albans.
When you decide to die, remember to give your enemy the same honor. That's what I wrote for 495. What a year 495 was.
Yeah.
One of my main regrets of this campaign, I think, was not understanding psychologically Duke Ulfius and presenting him this way. Thinking about it on reflection, it really kind of like, I wish I could have gave you more of it, because this is a man who watches it all break. and he is
Mhm.
literally best friends with Uther, like, you know, like as close
Yeah.
as Gareth and Erwin, right? And to have them pass breaks him. He's melancholic, and I don't think I played the melancholia enough. Like and that's why he
Yeah.
sides with the Saxons and like keeps it this kind of way of like paying tribute and fighting them, like, and kind of just, this is his life, and there's no he never strives for, despite being probably one of the best people as well as Sir Brassius, right? In terms of just like character of folk, he doesn't do it because he's despondent. He's lost. He thinks the concept of this is gone, right? And I don't think I gave it enough of a light. I kind of wrote this character not as well as I thought I should have. By wrote, I mean portrayed. But and it all started from there. What do you all think? Not just of him, just in general of the St. Albans.
I mean, so St. Albans was a hell of a fight.
Yeah.
Because we didn't fight at St. Albans proper. We fought at
Gatehouse,
St.
yeah.
Albans in the gatehouse. And all I remember from that was knowing it's a bad fucking idea and having no out and having to fight through those fucking Saxon arrows, right? I think Erwin literally carried me out of that one.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
couldn't
had
roll.
to.
You could not roll to not be hit. You had like magnetic armor. Like it was
Mhm.
ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. And literally holding the gate up so knights could escape.
Yep.
Mhm.
It was something else. That was one of the more dire fights. Not necessarily because it was the hardest fight, but because it was so out of context for what we were expecting and expected to do as knights.
Yeah.
Right? That kind of brawling was not up till then. Like, that was just out of our context.
Not what you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. It was no, it was a trap, and you're not really used to fighting in a trap, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, I like that one. That was rather intense. Like there've been some cool fights that Erwin was in, but taking the gatehouse and like freeing us, getting us out of there, like saving the Duke's life, like
Mm-hmm.
that was, I think, probably it certainly helped blunt the aftermath of St. Albans. It's just sort of like, oh, well, at least there's this shining gem in that that day. I do wish that we had gotten more Duke Ulfius. Like I really liked him as a character.
Yeah.
I thought the connection that he might have had, or that Erwin might have had with him, would have been fun to exploit. But I think play just went a different direction. You know, so I really liked him. I'm glad he's still around.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Basically, Arthur to him is like one last ride.
Yeah.
This is it. What he could potentially could recognize him as Uther's son, right? Or at the very least, like sort of see something in him.
Well,
Or
yeah.
Yeah. See
We'll-
something. I don't know how you.
We will
prove
see that.
yeah.
We'll see that
We'll
next
see.
session.
Yeah.
Because Arthur will be drawing the sword for more crowds and that kind of stuff. We'll develop through that. But yes, like we all know, obviously.
sure,
But
sure.
the fact is that in this campaign, the way everything spilled out from St. Albans is that they thought Arthur is dead. Everyone thought that the kid of Uther and Igraine was killed by Syagrius.
Mhm.
Right.
Yep.
And this
true.
This comes back
I
from
was gonna say that's
495,
true.
right? And that's what Maddock was trying to solve, right? And that's
the
when
only thing.
Maddock loses, but Syagrius and Merlin, right, have a thing. And so now Merlin's going to have a lot of explaining to do, right? Which is
Sure.
probably why Lot's going to be real fucking mad, being like, what the fuck did you do, Merlin? You're a fucking liar. Like, you know, like, this is why it's all, yeah, like, Merlin's not trusted.
No.
But
No,
he's
he's
here
not.
again. And he is absolutely, like, on board with this guy. And so now everyone's being like, what the fuck? Like, didn't we, especially Gareth, like, despite you saying this for real, what you see in him is different than Eloyd, right? Who was the pretender, right?
Yeah. God.
Yeah, it's magic.
And I feel like
Okay.
I didn't draw that in there, but that's absolutely the point of, like, when you were at that secret thing at Amesbury, Like,
Mhm.
yeah, like there's none of that resonance. But here, like him drawing the sword, like it just feels like like this. Only the blood of Uther could draw this sword. So it's cool shit.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking
I'm
now
just so
at
fucking
my
happy. Like I'm
It's
so
good.
glad y'all get to see. Like this is why I was so fucking jazzed about this session today, y'all. Like you all fucking witnessed the Sword in the Stone 52 sessions later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you started this
Mhm.
campaign, which is normally within the first 5 minutes of an Arthurian movie. You were here for it.
I'm looking now.
God.
We go through 496, right? We had a nice interaction with Ulfius at the Easter feast.
Yep.
Mhm.
We had the Christmas feast in Silchester. Then fucking 497 is when Gareth should have died.
Yeah,
The
that
duel
was-
with Sir
Mhm.
Anwar.
Mhm.
Oh, the duel. 496 was a long one. That went to part 4, by the way.
That went to part 4.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
a long one.
That was a lot of jockeying for the smallest advantages for Salisbury, the smallest breathing room. And
Yeah.
that breathing room, I fully expected Gareth to die
I
against Sir Anwar.
love this stuff, man. Like I loved how much you all were like putting into like stabilizing Salisbury, and then it felt so good as a GM to be like, you're at a new level, new devil. When you're able to get that level, and I pull the rug out from you because my fucking dice say that so and so dies, and you're like, oh, here we go, right? That was incredible. Yeah, I loved all of that part. Yeah, they could have gone. They literally could have gone anyway. But you're against Eric dice, so good luck.
Sure. Oh,
Right.
it's good.
But like in this system, you kind of want to roll low. I'm so surprised that it's not working for you.
I do get a surprising number of crits against you simply because I roll
Yeah.
low.
It's true. What else we got going forward?
I feel like again for like Anarchy, I feel like I didn't really like how I ended up doing tribute. I feel like it wasn't as brought to the forefront as I thought, but maybe it's not supposed to be. I think you all were rated enough just based on random rolls that I don't really feel like how else being rated.
I think we stopped making money, right? Like me and Erwin built up easily in our 20s and 30s in Libra Despair, and then we hit the Anarchy and it was just plateaued on the best years. We had really good years, and we didn't lose money. That was basically it.
That's ultimately you were fighting to stay even. Exactly.
It felt anarchic though. I mean, like it felt like the years that we didn't have to pay tribute were always like bonus. Could do something extra this year.
I changed the
Rebuild
economic
the
system.
bees.
Yeah, I changed the economic system to do that. Right, like we no longer were just rolling for the lifestyle stuff. It was, or like your stewardship wasn't income; it was lifestyle. And like I increased the price of lifestyle, which I guess I have to change back to. And we're probably going to go back to more towards Manor stuff now that we're going into Boy King.
Mm-hmm.
But
I like it. I like being able to sort of have the sort of freedom in fiction to flex the character, because I think that there was something about having a feudal lord that's like, well, I guess there's only so much we can just decide we're going to go do. But the Anarchy was really like, no, we're just going to do this. And
and
it just
I feel like we're going to get back to this, that like cogs in a machine. And hopefully we like it this time.
I have to know what's up with that cave and those nights though.
Yeah.
And, like it's been eating away at me since we stopped.
It's got to be Morgan, right? That's got to be Morgan Le Fay. I mean, it's witchy nonsense and demons, and it's not Merlin because he was on the continents. The only other, I don't know. It's. I don't think. Well, maybe. Do you think maybe it's like the enchantment coming, the fairy lands encroaching? That didn't feel very fairy. It felt.
Do you all know any?
Nefarious.
You know any stories about Lancelot?
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yes, but like
really.
they're all conflicting anyway. So
there you go. Yep. Well, that's the only spoiler you'll get from me, is that it's related to Lancelot.
Okay. 499. I have Lady Elaine's funeral.
Yeah. Now we're going to talk about the loss.
So if we're talking about the Anarchy,
I fucking cried writing the funeral for Elaine.
Yes, I remember.
just in
That
prep.
one was just
Just in prep.
it's just because it was just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, let's see, family survival. Boom.
Yeah,
And
it was a
What the
random
fuck
event.
happened?
I
Yeah.
literally wasn't streaming my prep. I think, if I recall this, it was this day. I was not streaming my prep. I was just in the morning. I was doing it, and then I was like, "Oh fuck, I gotta stream this, don't I?" Because I was like, "There's no way. There's no way I can get away with this. I have to honor it." So I did.
Yeah.
Like this, one of those things where I have to. Yeah, I don't know.
And
I
then
have to trust in the dice, despite the dice never loving me at all. It's entirely one-sided.
heart of the cards.
Heart of the cards. I put my heart of the nerds.
First duel with Sir Pendragon. I have
Yeah.
that in 499, 500, and then I think I got one more.
Mhm.
No,
There's
it was
three.
only the two.
Yeah.
Turn
Because
down
the
third one.
third time I didn't remember that was
Yes.
character growth. I think.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. You young.
He
piece
just,
of
I mean,
shit.
those were the two where he just like got you first time with a crit, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
And he just rolled enough to draw blood, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was that.
The
I like these
Marauders
years
of
from
Moorgrain.
Irwin's.
Ooh.
What's that?
I was looking at my notes for 499 of the Marauders of the Moorgrain.
Rounds
yeah.
50.
Yeah, you all were fighting
glory.
the conquest of the Jagan.
I had a mere 5,000 glory at that point.
A mere 5,000. Yeah.
Miserly, a petty
A humble
5,000.
5K.
I'm just kind of year 500 Saxon wedding feast. I win
Yeah.
2 out of 3 riddles.
Yeah.
Should have gotten
Erwin
the third one.
has a
That was the
dream.
year. Yeah, Irwin had a dream. That was the year he dealt with his beetles.
Yeah.
Or the weevils or whatever. He started to get a lot of dreams around this. These are some of my favorite years for Irwin because of just the raiding and like the leading the small skirmishes up and down the board. I really dug that.
I don't know
That
if
was like,
I don't know if I told you this, but that dream of the person screaming "Help me."
uh-huh.
I don't know if I ever gave you who that was.
Yeah, no,
It's Virgil, the poet.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Sorry.
I'm
Okay.
looking forward to my notes, but yes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Just
I
having a good
took him
time.
as a Roman. My notes have a Roman.
Yeah.
I know.
That
Yeah,
makes
'cause he
sense.
spoke Latin. Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Screaming. He was being covered in vines, screaming for help.
Vines.
Got
Italian
501.
hands. It's strong Italian hands
501.
in the vines.
Yeah.
501.
501 is a big year for Gareth. We got courting and marriage to Angarad, and the validation of the Confederation of the Born.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we killed Sir Julianus. Sir
did.
Julianus. That was a good year. That was a good one.
It was.
It was.
You all
good.
deserve that one. It was a
We
good
get him
come
a
up.
raid. Forget when we got him. It was very
Yeah, it was-
satisfying.
It was we were defending a raid.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember? And like we
Yeah.
gave our center away a
Mhm.
little bit, and like we're gonna fuck up Julianus if we do nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah. I have here. We were pillaged. Then we turned right around and got them. Gareth found Sir Julianus. Yeah. And that's when he got his donkey. That's the year the unicorn hunt.
Yeah. Oh, the unicorn hunt.
The unicorn.
Man,
that
this
was
Anarchy
you.
period.
That was
This is like we're
there was
covering,
something
like,
fun
25
about like just like being a neighbor, just like role playing a neighbor. Like, hey there, Manor neighbor, come and ride to the forest and hunt unicorns with me. You know,
the
Try to
wonderful
knife me.
dysfunction along the river has always been a joy. All of these weird backwards knights, fucking Sir Miff,
Yes.
podunk knights.
podunk knights. And we pretend we're better, but we're podunk
No.
knights with nice
No.
jackets. That's
We just don't play out those moments when Gareth and Irwin are just like total doofses on their manners.
You're the Salisbury of Salisbury.
yeah.
You
Or the
Look.
Salisbury sauce.
the Borden
Saucy
River
boys.
breeds Tough stock. Right.
Yeah, right.
It requires. You are
Goes underground.
yeah.
It's chalk
It's
people.
the chalk. It's the earth.
Goes
You're
underground.
the people of the chalk. God, the
Love
unicorn
it.
hunting. Jesus.
Yeah.
That was a good.
I'd-
Unicorn hunting was fun.
Yeah. 503, another dream. We got the Dream of the Dragon.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
502, the only thing I have is the Oath Stone. And I threw the party. I did throw a party, but it was just like Oath Stone type. But Dream of the Dragon in 503. And then
Morgan returned in 503.
yeah.
That's when you learn
And
more
then-
about
What happened in
History.
504? What's the big
50.
thing there?
504
lot.
was
Lady Jenna.
Yeah.
Lady Jenna passes away.
Was that it? Is that the
Oh,
only thing?
the lightning strikes. It was the session where I start with the lightning strike.
Wolf hunting in the shoot wood.
Yeah. There was so much.
Irwin?
Well, that's
It was
that's when
504.
I was gonna say I'm getting to it. That's when they die. That's when Irwin dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same year, right? 504.
That was a fucking year too.
That was the year. That was a year, right? Because we like there's this whole things seem to be kind of whatever. It's nice. Maybe we'll go hit up Siagrius and like just put a boot on his neck till he's dead.
Yeah.
Like
we were ready to like reinvest our winnings,
Right,
emotionally speaking, and then it's
mean,
just like
Jenna's
lightning
dead.
strike. Jenna's dead. Alder Gap. Irwin's dead. Fucking
yeah, no, it was
Lord Satirius is dead. Like
they're all dead.
it was brutal.
And compared to how well Salisbury was doing up otherwise into these last like
Mhm.
5 years, 6 years of the Anarchy, where Salisbury's just like we went as far as we could and then just collapsed into a pile of just a hot mess.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then at the end, and the result of St. Albans with literally every fucking Castellan being killed.
Every Castellan. Then we lose
Yeah.
to these people. Yeah, it's we end the Anarchy just so much worse than we went into it, but it was right there at the end. Up until then,
Yeah.
I'd say we were riding it out.
Yeah.
We built that house of cards.
Yeah.
We built the hell out of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's like it's an important kind of context to keep in mind for what on the ground floor for our knights. This is all so important, right? Building this little confederation and the internal politics. But like when we're talking about England, who fucking cares about Salisbury? We were always a sideshow, and we were at best a convenience for armies to march through. And at the very end, that was the real takeaway from the Anarchy for me. Is just like we were never going to affect large scale. Everything we did was for Salisbury and to Salisbury. And then at the end of that, we were reminded in a very bald-faced way. That's not how this world works. That's not how feudalism works. You need a king. You're going to get a king one fucking way or another.
Exactly.
Yeah.
While you all are playing like, Stardew Valley, Intelliad's playing Risk, and diplomacy. It's
It's there's that war game Epic 40,000 and they're like they make note in this grand scale strategy game that one small engagement of like 2 stands of troops is the equivalent of an entire battle of Warhammer 40,000.
Mhm.
It's like that is one. Like you do 5 to 10 of these in a battle of epic 40k, but understand that represents one entire
Normal.
battle of 40k. And we've been playing 40k this whole time, and it's like, nah, we were playing epic.
Yeah. I feel like the biggest parts you start to saw that was the battles themselves.
Yes.
Being a part of the battles and realizing just, we're only contributing this
Yeah,
much.
there's really only that many. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was basically Somerset and Netley Marsh were the 2 big ones after that.
Speaking of which, I kind of regret no one else, like the Earl never really gave you any thanks.
They all can get fucked.
Yeah. Honestly, I kind of regret not giving you some more thanks here, but also maybe that was intentional. Maybe, I'm retroactively say that was intentional, and that there is no glory for fucking last standing in that battle that was lost.
Yeah.
What do they care? They still lost.
I'm at odds with sort of like Gorthrant's loyalty score and whether or not Rufus deserves it.
No,
sure.
No.
But like, the loyalty to Lord is not loyalty Rufus.
Sure.
Yeah, it's like the internalization of respect the officer, not the man. It's like,
you respect the rank. Yeah.
Spoon
in chat.
The rank
Spoon
of
in chat.
just
Everyone.
this Joker in here.
Yeah, and he absolutely is. And it's a blast to play him and just throw it in your face because it's good to be king. Let me tell you.
That fucking alcoholic nose on that art is perfect.
I know. I love it.
He looks like a goober.
Well,
he is the goober.
At some point, he's gonna have to realize that like there's a portion of his knights that are doing what he says because he's the earl, and is otherwise just like you frankly not earned this if he even cares, and I think he should because it's fucking feudalism.
My auto mod blocked Chump. What the fuck? Okay, Twitch. Sorry, but no, I completely agree with you, Jim. That frankly, Salisbury would not be working as well if it wasn't for the fact that people below Rufus are extremely competent.
Yeah,
it dawned on me just how much Bishop Rogers has done in the last decade to keep things alive.
I have not pictured. I haven't given them enough credit. And it's continuing a theme through this entire game is that I don't think I presented the church enough in terms of what they actually bring to a community, but it's also just like not really the lens of this game. It's not really like something
they're the heart of every one of these communities, though. Like,
they're the heart.
If we were playing the peasant people around here, all we do is talk about what's going on at church.
Right. But absolutely, like Bishop Roger is 1,000,000%, and he's still around. Like he's just with you all, being like literally watching his world fucking crumble as he's just like glue, hold, duct tape, glue. Like making sure his church shit works.
I think what's important when we compare like when we compare like Ulfius to Rogers in that kind of way, is like for Ulfius, the falling apart is like a failure. You know, it is the failure of the martial class, the failure of Logres as a kingdom, yada yada. But like Bishop Rogers, the context of being a religious figure like that, they're fucking Christian. They're always ready for the apocalypse. Like that shit is like a call to arms. When shit starts to fall apart, it's their job to be like, all right, let's get your soul ready. Like, hey, gird your loins. It's went and end the days things. I read about this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, from a historical perspective, like during this time period, a little bit before, you'd see the biggest jump in like church membership after famines, earthquakes, sieges. Like the government fled, and then you'd still have the bishop down the street. Collecting food. And so I take that their role is incredibly important. Just haven't put it to the locus of play yet.
One of my favorite things in grad school I read from the Anglo-Norman period of English history, which I think is like roughly aesthetically analogous to the Anarchy period, even though they're like in terms of actual time, it's centuries later. Anyway, Anglo-Norman there's a famous poem called The Dream of the Rood, which is it's a famous poem, and it's from the perspective of Jesus's cross. And one of the things our teacher hammered into us was like, understand how apocalyptic life was for them, because this is the time of the Danes invading, Dane law. You have sea people fucking pouring over your land, burning, pillaging, and destroying, and no one's really in charge, and it sucks all the time. And the church is the one putting out these poems, these works of art, these beautiful works of art, whose whole message is like, get ready to die. Like, understand, like, we're not giving you hope that your body's gonna survive this.
No.
But you need to be like not like Christ, who's dead and gone. He's finished. You need to be like the cross itself. Endure until you're fucking torn down. The Anglo-Norman ideal of heroic endurance, that the true virtue is not like your strength of arms. It's your ability to just keep.
Keep going.
I love
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
love that.
Very
Yeah,
much.
the Dream of the Rude. Look at
Yeah,
that
it's really
Circariad. Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Surpassing was this victory tree, and me splattered with sins. Struck through with fault, I saw this tree of glory.
It's really hard to
Tree
get
of
into a
glory.
medieval mindset.
Yeah, it really
Like,
is.
it really is an alien mindset.
Well,
It's alien.
Yeah, we spoke about this before as well, but like it's also incredibly difficult for us to imagine the lens of faith through a non-Christian lens, let alone a hyper-Christian lens.
right.
Right. Like, yeah, it's something that I think will, as a GM, I think it's incredibly valuable if you wanted to go back and look through a medieval mindset, as well as other, like, literally, like, deconstructing and through other faiths, and how theology in and of itself is a term centered around Christianity in a lens of Christian terms, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's
It's once more singing the praises of Greg Stafford in terms of giving us a structure to experience a mindset that is wholly alien, right? To give us a landscape that is familiar enough for us to invest in, and mechanics that will fill in the gaps where we personally don't necessarily have the emotional context or the sort of ideological framework for these kinds of feudal structures and apocalyptic world, you know?
Yeah.
It's why kings lasted so long. Like it's why the structure existed, is because of how brutal life was, right? Like you had no ability to administrate and count and keep things going. Like this was it, and life could be over at any minute from anything. That sort of it is so vastly different to understand how little control you have over your life, how little power you have. I don't know. Political theology in and of itself, I think, is an absolutely fascinating thing. The concept of how governments shape power and security through your life then gets reflected through your relationship with the divine. Like all of that stuff is very, very, very cool.
Sorry, now I'm reading The Dream of the Rude.
Yeah,
It's so good.
Yeah.
I find it manifests the most in how the winter phase pans out when I start looking at how much money we're saving, and all I can think of is just like saving is an anachronistic kind of concept for 510. You know, it's like forget the fact that it's abstracted into actual coins and things like that, but like you live to your means because like that's to show everybody else how magnificent you are. Right. The only reason you get to sit there is because you get to enjoy these bountiful fruits and keep everybody else's loyalty because you give it away, and you know, that kind of thing. That's what I try to do with Gorthford, of just getting in the habit of spending money everywhere he goes.
Yeah. It's a really interesting, and props to you, Jim, for making Gorthrin so recognizably Erwin's son, but such a distinct person in his own right.
Absolutely.
Right? We have these continuities between the two, but like Gorthrin is his own man. And like we get to see that every time he can't keep it in his pants, and he does something like try and raise up a peasant girl. Like it's a whole thing.
He means well.
Yeah.
I guess.
He means well.
Yeah. And everyone has been so excited for Gorthrin to come into play.
Yeah. I found it both really enjoyable in the sense of like finding a new character and finding that continuity but still distinctness. As a player, there's all those dangling threads from Erwin that I'm looking at, like, oh, not the werewolves, not the dreams. You know, like there's a lot of that stuff that Orphan's just not present for. It doesn't make any sense to pick it back up.
Exactly.
But
Sometimes it's the tragedy of those dangling threads is such a nice marker of mortality, I think.
They really make you feel it. Like it's I'm not about to compare a character death to an actual real life death, so that's just ridiculous. But it's like you do feel a sense of loss where you think like, oh yeah, my character died before I was ready for them to. That ended, you know.
I'm willing to make the comparison.
Go for it.
Because I mean, the most recent loss I've had in my life was my grandfather. And there is still so much of his life that I find inexplicable. And knowing his history and knowing it incompletely in many ways,
Yeah.
I still these dangling threads, and I've had to just embrace and accept that in the end, you can never know someone fully in life. So why would you know them fully in death? Why would
Sure.
all of that? We are not reduced to our death. That is not the period at the end of the sentence. That's just when we stop talking.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. You
It's-
live on. And I feel it. It really hits home. And I think like the game just
Yeah.
works itself into these loops that reinforce each other and create this like
And
And I think it's important to recognize that we don't have to soften our language there because this is the nature of art. If we can't emotionally be connecting with these things, it's a silly night game. We get every Monday. It's a silly game of playing pretend to be nice, but this is also art. Greg Stafford and artists and editors have created this object.
Yeah.
So we can absolutely connect.
We are also like the only fucking Pendragon campaign for 52 episodes that does not devolve into Monty Python jokes.
oh, thank God.
You know that? Like we literally.
Thank God.
Yeah,
They
you ever
ruined that
all
movie
aware
for
of
me.
that? Like
They
we
ruined that movie for me. So
Yeah, kinda. Yeah.
I'm
Like
I'm kind of sore about it.
Hey Grant.
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 Yeah,
Y'all
no,
are absolutely incredible.
Nerds totally ruined Monty Python. It's a shame. And yes, I am happy to never bring it up in Pendragon.
But yeah,
I thought you were gonna say we're the only Pendragon stream and then stop there. And I was gonna be like, yeah. And we're gonna keep it that way. Anyone who tries to start a fucking stream,
we are the best Pendragon stream.
We'll joust you for
being
it.
the only Pendragon stream. Yeah. But no, you all, it's just been absolutely remarkable how much of a fan you all were, and how I love how not just for you, Jim, how personal it felt for everyone watching, like Erwin transition to death. From not just Colin, not just me, but like everyone being like, fuck, man. Like, even I know that you were prepared for death, right? And even being in preparation, like just like in real life, I don't believe that you can really be prepared for death. I don't know if that's true. I really don't know if that's true. That is
that was a weird session for me, because in my real life my father had a brush with death that weekend. I don't think I told anybody about it, but like we're sitting down to play on Monday night, and like literally 24 hours prior, we're like sitting by the phone. It's like, is my dad okay? Well, why isn't anybody at the hospital answering? And so like then I was like, okay, well, I want to play because I got play is therapeutic for me. But I knew we were going in this big battle. And so there was something about like this weekend of facing mortality, either of my fictional character or my real life father, was just very cathartic. And I thought I couldn't have wished for a better ending for Erwin. And I really, it really was satisfying.
That's good. That's having Gorthrin's lens going in through the rest of the Anarchy, and then also maintaining Garrett's lens has been such a joy. And I'm sorry that it's not always the case where you all get to jam together, but you just experience these things separately. And the fact that you all have been so cool about it, sometimes it's a fucking Gorthrin session, sometimes it's a Gareth session, like in terms of like proportions. I just love it. I love how easy you all are with how things go.
I didn't want to do the like classic D&D thing, or the group is the party is attached at the hip. It's like
we go to the bathroom together. They sleep in the same room. Yeah.
It's like, I want to go to this tavern. Okay, my character's coming too. It's like, man, we're going to like the dwarf sector, and you're like an elf. It's like, does it make sense? Or are you just afraid we're gonna get ambushed and roll initiative, and you're not gonna be there for it, man? I don't know. Yeah, no. So I was actually kind of worried if we both would die, that it would feel like it's like, okay, if one character dies, we gotta quickly kill off the other one.
Sure.
Like, yeah. Look, I was prepared if you both died, right? Like, I entered this pretty dispassionately in that way, despite fucking crying and loving how your characters, right? Yeah. But like, I'm gonna let them fall where they fall. But I am also very thankful for the way that they fell, and having these two different lenses of one seeing Excalibur and understanding what it means to have a king, and one only being told about how good it was, as though it was a fairy tale.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, I really like how it's turned out so far. I'm excited. I'm excited to see a shift in tone for the game. Like I've enjoyed the Anarchy. I've enjoyed the mud and blood of it.
The Crusader Kings version of the game.
Yeah. But it's also like after 52 sessions, it's also like how long are we going to just be knives out? Back to the wall.
I'm looking forward to some like high school fucking sports kind of jousting. Right?
Yep.
Like tallying up our losses and wins in jousting. Yes. Are you kidding me?
I am painting them. I'm so excited to talk about the rabid fans of shit of people. And like these are your family houses and shit are brands. Like this is like genuinely. This is sincerely because like you would post up your fucking house shit so people know who's jousting and you have your fans. I'm going like full Knight's Tale with this. All right, like I'm ready.
I'm here for it.
I'm in.
There's a reason I invested there, and the fucking arc of like when you're getting into being an English major and you hate the Knight's Tale, or no, you like it first because it's a fun movie, and then you get into like medieval literature and you hate it because it's horribly inaccurate, and then you read more medieval literature and you love it because it's accurate in entirely different ways.
Yes, exactly. It's accurate while also being extremely anachronistic. Like
it is, which is entirely too well acted, by the way.
Yeah,
that absolutely. Fucking scene when he sees his dad again.
Yeah.
Too much. Why did you?
Is that? Yeah, it's fucking sitting in the fucking. God damn it, dude! I've seen them. I don't. All right, so I have this weird thing. Like I'm like a shark when it comes to content. I cannot go back and watch movies. Like anything I've consumed that way, I cannot go back and watch. I need to watch the new thing. Knight's Tale, I will sit down and watch again, 100%.
Yeah, there's like maybe 10 movies that are like that. For
exactly.
Me. It's like if it's on, I'll watch it.
Yeah, like Excalibur's one for me. Knight's Tale's one for me. Top Gun's one for me. Like very few movies let me like Knives Out. Like there are very few movies that let me sit down and be like, I'll jam on this jam.
Yeah. My hyperfixation is the exact opposite. Okay. I will watch a movie as I'm reading about the movie and looking up who's in the movie and what else they've done and who directed it, and then I'll watch it again and just keep going, like fucking circling the drain until I've sucked all joy and meaning from this piece of art.
No,
you're literally a vulture. There's nothing
like at least 10 years between movies. Like if it's not like Star Wars or unfortunately Demolition Man is on my list. I don't know why. I will always watch Demolition Man.
Right. Taco Bell.
Taco Bell, Wesley Snipes,
Yeah.
It's
the Three Shells, all that, right?
I'm thinking about it. I'm actually it's really hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard for me to get into a new movie. When someone's like, "Oh, you should watch this," my first thought is like, "Well, who's in it?" Like, I'm gonna look it up and I'm gonna read the synopsis first. I'm gonna read about it. I'm gonna read an article about it, a review, and then I'll pretend that I've seen it before so I can start watching it.
A few years ago, I went completely dark. No spoilers, nothing. I was like, whatever I watch, I don't want to know anything about it. It's been wonderful.
We should finish up the last 3 years or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
We got so fucking sidetracked.
That's fine. It's a typical RPG session, right?
Yeah. Well, especially when you're doing like a retrospective of like 25 sessions together, and rather than actually role playing and stuff, right? Like we're just fucking vibing, like taking in the moment for reflecting.
If you said we got to finish the last 3 years. It's like the last 3 episodes. We had Netley Marsh, we had the false heir of Uther, and then we got captured, and then now we're
here. I mean, it's been pretty fast.
Yeah, like someone in the Discord for Pendragon asked me like what were some of like the most standout sessions and stuff like that. And despite like Irwin's battle in my head going really well, I went back and watched it. In my opinion, it wasn't as good in my head as it was when I was watching it, right? Or the other way around. Watching it was not as good as it was occurring in my head in that moment. I left that session in a way different state than actually going back and watching it. I don't know what that means. So I thought that session fucking slapped when it happened. Like it was one of the best. I still think that way, but after watching it, I don't know. But like comparing that to Netley Marsh, I thought the Battle of Netley Marsh though was like super good. I thought that session was just all killer, no filler.
Yeah.
Like if I wanted, let's go ahead.
Alder's Gap was the first battle we'd done in a long time though. So there was a lot of like, okay, what about intensity? What about that? So I think there was some of that. I think you're gaslighting yourself, Eric. Come on.
I think we can.
I had a great time.
I liked them both for very different reasons though. For Adder's Gap, it was because we were using the full system. we got a very granular look about how our characters were affecting this larger kind of mechanism of battle. And so it was appropriately personal to us, both as characters and players, right? Because like we had been instrumental in the setup to the battle, and then in the battle we were kind of at the vanguard in a very important way. And then with Netley Marsh, it felt impersonal, but in like that really important way of like we're extras in that Lord of the Rings battle, right? And that I'm invested in like in a sort of implotment way. I'm less emotionally invested in my moment to moment. We weren't doing extended combats. You know, we were doing a lot more of roll and then decide what the role means. And that helped us do a really nice mise-en-scene kind of shtick. So they're like kind of opposite ends of this of a spectrum, and I think they were both well executed. So like, verb.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, thank you all.
Gatehouse is still my top favorite.
Which one?
Gatehouse. Taking the Gatehouse is
Gatehouse.
still my top one.
For sure.
Yeah, I think it had a good energy to it.
Doing my best Boromir impression there.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Practicing the Sean Bean.
Right.
So, to other GMs out here who want to run the Anarchy, yeah, like there's not a lot of rails on this part. It's very much how you do it. So hopefully there are parts of this campaign that that inspire you to steal for your own, that tie back to the larger story and the threads that begin again and back into the Boy King. So hopefully I stole from a bunch of people, I'm not gonna lie. I honestly I can't even name the sources, but I absolutely am not as original as I think I am. I've stolen them from random Pendragon blogs from 20 years ago, right? I'm active in the Discords and I peruse the forums, so like I'm like a vulture or a chipmunk. I just hoard everything. You know, I go through the bones of literally the way back machine levels of forums for things and like how they would apply to our campaign and stuff. And because you all deserve it. Y'all, I put so much energy into this campaign. But I love it. I've never loved a campaign like I love this one with y'all. Like for sure.
It shows.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And I like to get this far with a group is in this campaign. Like imagine us playing any game for 52 sessions, but like to get this far and have the fucking like payoff. I know. And like even chat here is like folks have been here since the very beginning. This payoff just right alongside with us to have Arthur pull the sword from the stone. Fucking so good.
I didn't know it was going to be today.
Yeah,
me neither.
I thought we were just going to mess around and do it.
I told you
we were in London. I was like,
my timeline was like half a decade off. I started to realize it was off as we're getting close. I'm like, this feels like a big moment. I thought it was like 5:15 we're gonna see it, but then I guess not, because I had expected it initially at like 500, but that turned out to be a totally different kind of turning point.
Yeah,
that was the different one.
Yeah,
because it's like it's the year after, or sorry, the year before Erwin and Gareth were charged with treason.
Mm-hmm.
That would have that's when Arthur was born. So that was what 490, 491,
91, yeah,
91 or 92.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. He should be just right around knighting age. Yeah, Arthur's like 19. Yeah, right.
491 is Terabell.
Yeah. It's literally a lifetime ago.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
God, man.
Gorthron, you were like Gorthron's barely a babe at that day. Yeah.
He's like
5 years old.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll do it for the session today. Thank you so much for hanging out, y'all, and doing this retrospective with us. You know, this is sort of like just this look back at the end of this period, and a good look forward to the many days to come in the Boy King. Anything y'all, any final words for the session? Any things you all want to say? Any things that you?
I'm tired.
Thank you for running this.
I mean, obviously, thank you, Eric. No, for real though, you can tell you put a lot of work in this, and it like
good.
I don't know that I would say that I've ever had a stinker yet of a session where I'm just like, I could have done
Yeah.
something else. I've always
Yeah.
loved it. Always glad I played.
100%. Yeah.
Wow.
The fact that I'm going from my 9 to 5 to my teaching gig directly here and like it. Yeah, every week I'll do it. Every
Yeah.
week.
Yeah. Same.
Means a lot. Yeah. All right then. Then long live the Boy King.
Long live the Boy King Arthur.
All right. See you, everyone.